What's up, everybody? It's your boy Neosynthesis. I know it's been a little bit over a month since I talked to you guys last, but I really feel like the format had been pretty stale. Just a lot of people floodgating each other, a lot of auto-lose matchups, just not very fun. Anyway, we finally made it to Spright format. I know I've been kind of hinting that this is a deck I've been wanting to play for a long time. Luckily, I was able to get my blues on release date for pretty cheap. This is obviously the first card in the deck. I feel like just about every Spright deck is going to be 3 blues, 3 jet, 3 starter. These are like, you know, your main engine cards in the deck. They pretty much are all interchangeable when you're deciding what your combos are. And yeah, card's $100 for a reason. You need it. It's just, it pretty much gets every single like part of your Spright deck going. Oh, and this is like pure Spright, so I'm not playing any of the adventure stuff. I'm sure I'll explore into the adventure stuff later, but I wanted to try this out first. And then for like our brick sprites, I mean, these aren't really like bricks because they're extenders in themselves, but they don't do like that much for your combo. Obviously, red is better because it can insulate you from hand traps on your turn, and then on your opponent's turn, like you can play around Dark Ruler using this card in like starter. So like you wait for your opponent's Dark Ruler, and then after their Dark Ruler resolves, you summon the red from the deck, so you still at least have like 1 interact, which is really cool. Like, you know, so long as you have the starter set, so that's a nice little thing to come in mind. And I'm not sure about Carrot. Negating spell and traps is like good, but can't negate Dark Ruler no more, so it's kind of in an awkward spot. But I think against some certain decks, it's really, really good. And then for like my generic gas cards, like obviously I feel like you're pretty much between Deep Sea Diva and the Beavers. Currently I'm on the Divas for no real reason. I don't really have Hulk in my extra deck right now because I'm not like wanting to climb into like Access Code or Selene or anything like that. But I think Diva's fine. I mean, Diva and Nimble Beaver are essentially like interchangeable. But you know, I just think that Diva is good because you can basically bluff that you're playing Halic Vibrax. So sometimes this will like draw more heat than it should. You know, there's not really a reason to be running Diva over something like Beaver, but you know, I have the Super Diva, so why not? And then I'm not sure if I'd run them in the Adventure Engine. I don't think I would if I was going to run an Adventure package. And then for the frogs, we run the standard 4 frogs. I mean, every single person is pretty much playing these 4, but I am also playing the dupe. I think the dupe is good because certain hands having dupe frog in your deck lets you open with like double totally awesome, which is pretty much game versus most decks, so long as they don't shut Dark Ruler no more. And I feel like having the ability to summon this off of the Toad from the deck during your opponent's standby phase to make your stuff not like beat overable is also like really good in the format, pretty underrated. So I just run the 4 frogs. Obviously drawing swap frog is broken, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we run 2 desires. I don't have prosperity, or else I would definitely be running 3 prosperity, but this is like the closest substitute. And then for the last few extenders, we just run triple E-Tele. You'll see later in my hand trap package what I'm running for targets, but these are like our generic extenders, and then you pretty much have seen all the engine cards, so the rest is hand traps, as I'm sure you guys have deduced at this point. So we're running double Veiler. Now the hand trap lineup is a bit scuffed because I don't have Ash Blossom and I don't have triple Nibiru, and I don't have DD Crows either. Those are all cards that I would potentially play, but I'm running double Effect Veiler, triple Ghost Ogre. I feel like it's just completely insane this format. If you can like resolve it on Gigantic Spright, you pretty much win. And even if you can't, like, even if they somehow have it insulated, you can wait for their turn and Ghost Ogre. They're totally awesome during standby when they summon a card from deck, which just makes Ghost Ogre like really good. Obviously, like hitting Primeval Planet is also super, super nice, but I just think Ghost Ogre is really underrated in this format, and I think that it'll see more and more plays as we go forward. Also, E-Tele target. So sometimes you get, like, I got Reapered in one of the games at Locals, but I summoned this off of Halic Vibrax, which I'm not running anymore, but I summoned it off of Halic Vibrax just to give me like another little interact on my opponent's turn, because you guys don't know you contribute Ghost Ogre from the field and not just from the hand. And then for we are running the Gammas. I think Gamma is like good. Obviously, it's like the best target for E-Tele because it's level 2, and all your sprites will like extend off of there. And yeah, I think it's really good going first. Obviously, going second is not the greatest thing in the world, but if you like start with a Tele or an opening, it's obviously fine. And then running 1 nib. I only have 1 nib, or else this would be a second nib. But I'm running Ghost Mourner. I feel like it's slightly better this form. I think it's better to have a more diverse lineup of hand traps. Like, this is almost never going to get cross-set designated. whereas this might catch across that designator a lot more frequently because people might have these in their deck. This card can also stop things. So a lot of people, a really popular thing to do is starter during the draw phase or standby phase so that you can dodge this card. But this card can actually hit that in that situation. And yeah, Mourner's really, really good. And then Called by the Grave, this card should just be banned. I really don't feel like it needs too much explanation. It's not a hand trap or anything, but yeah, Called by the Grave on Totally Awesome is like pretty much game versus Spright. And a lot of decks like really can't play through Called by the Grave. And they can't afford to play around it because it's at 1. So it should be banned at 3. I'm in the personal opinion of it should be banned. And now for the extra deck, for like the engine extra cards, you run 1 Almirage. I can get you out of like sticky situations where your only starter is like just a Toad. You don't really have any form of extension. You can still end on like, I think it's Spright Elf Toad. I don't 100% remember the combo, but you definitely need Almirage for it. If I drew the hand, I could show you exactly what it was, but you play the 1 Almirage to get you out of situations like that. Double Elf, you could maybe bump this up to 3, but I took a much more toolboxy approach to the extra deck. For the rest of the like engine stuff, 2 Gigantic, you don't really need more than 2. And then I'm running double Totally Awesome because I do have the Dupe Frog in my deck to potentially be able to end on the double. I also just feel like having the second Totally Awesome in your extra deck for the grind game is super, super important. Like, you can actually use Totally Awesome's effect to add back a frog to your hand, getting you value instead of like just recycling the 1 Totally Awesome that a lot of people are running in their extra decks. And then we're running Gin Buster. I know I mentioned earlier I got like Reapered. He Reapered my Gigantic, obviously, which makes it really tough for me to like fully extend and get like a really nice board with like, you know, Elf reviving totally or whatever. But you can, I still was able to make like Gin Buster 2, which is 2 level 2 darks. So Blue and Jet are proper materials for this. And it's actually like not the greatest card in the world, but I think that it's still worth running to have like just a diversification of your end board. And then kind of going second cards. I'm running 1 Erna, the water charmer. You know, reviving Totally Awesome is like super, super broken. Reviving like even your opponent's like Swap Frog or whatever is super nice. I'm running Nightmare Phoenix just because there's a lot of floodgates running around in the format right now, and this card helps you get through them. This is an Onibaru Soul Sweeper, so this card like lets you push for game harder, but I think I would trade it out for a Dark in the future. I'm running Cat Shark because yeah, this card actually does help you kill a lot of people. And then we're running the Zeus package. I don't know how good the Zeus package is, but I feel like you should definitely run it just in case you get into like a really weird sticky board state. Zeus won me a game at locals versus like Pure Therion. I think Zeus is pretty good going forward. Obviously, yeah, Zeus is like really good. I don't even know what I'm talking about. And then for the side, I'll just get through it real quick. I'm running 1 Gamma Burst. I feel like it's worth siding in versus Tier because they're going to be making Winda. And yeah, that's pretty much that. I might consider, I don't starter or smashers anywhere in the side or main, but I would consider putting smashers in for sure. I think smashers might go in the main deck for this coming week. But I just wanted to show you guys what I'm on initially. And then 1 reboot, double evenly. We just hate back row decks, and obviously rebooting like Floodgates is super good. And then triple Dark Ruler for going second. I mean, I feel like everybody's been talking about this card. It's like pretty much the card of the format, Dark Ruler. And then we actually have here, I feel like it's an opportune time. We play 2 Blizzard, basically, essentially to stop Dark Ruler no more. So we side this in going first, like specifically, just so we can set it with our end board and like win the game. And then we're also running just double cross out. I feel like it's super good in the mirror, and then yeah, it's good in the mirror. That's pretty much it. It's kind of good going first as well because you can insulate yourself from some of the better hand traps, but I don't have Ash, so it's a little bit less good. And I would really only be siding in versus the mirror. And then double Dim Barrier, double Trap Trick. I think this should probably just be triple Dim Barrier, 1 Trap Trick, but you know, it's essentially the same thing. We just side this in versus Tier and versus Exosisters. I mean, Exosisters aren't really that good, but as long as you know how to play against them. All right, that is everything. Thank you guys for watching. I'll have updates to the deck profile moving forward. But yeah, it's been your boy Neosynthesis. Peace.